Glitch Productions made one promise to every single Digital Circus fan. One promise that they put in writing, publicly, officially. We will always drop episodes first on YouTube. That was the promise. Those were the words. And today, with the episode 9 theatrical announcement, that promise is broken. For the first time in the entire history of this show, the finale is not releasing first on YouTube. It is releasing first in cinemas. 2 full weeks before YouTube. 2 full weeks before Netflix. 2 full weeks where every Reddit post, every Twitter thread, every Discord server, every YouTube comment section is going to be flooded with spoilers that millions of fans cannot avoid, no matter how hard they try. And here is what makes this even worse. The tickets sold out within 2 hours. The websites crashed. There are barely any screenings available. The studio is Australian, but there are no screenings in Australia. Most of Europe gets nothing. Most of Asia gets nothing. Most of the global fan base, the same global fan base that Glitch specifically thanked and celebrated in their own announcement, gets to spend 2 weeks dodging spoilers for a finale they cannot even buy a ticket to see. Today we are breaking down exactly what happened, why fans are furious, why this decision is genuinely damaging
the show and the fandom, and what Glitch needs to do right now to fix it before the finale they spent years building gets completely overshadowed by the biggest controversy in Digital Circus history. Stay till the very end, because the last point we make today is the one that affects every single fan of this show, regardless of where they live.
Let us start from the very beginning, because context matters here, and the full picture is more complicated and more frustrating than most people are presenting it. The episode 9 trailer dropped today, and genuinely, the trailer itself is incredible. We get our first real look at Ribbit, we get glimpses of the characters in their most broken states. We get Pomni's voice asking, "Are you sure?" We get Jax looking completely lost. The trailer does exactly what a good final season trailer should do. It builds anticipation without giving too much away. And for about 30 seconds after watching it, the Digital Circus fandom felt genuinely excited, unified, ready for the ending of something they have loved for over 2 years. And then the theatrical announcement hit. Episode 8 and Episode 9, packaged together as the last act, will be screened in cinemas across a select number of countries starting June 4th. The United States, Canada, Japan, Latin America, Mexico was added shortly after, and the YouTube and Netflix release, the release every fan everywhere in the world can actually access, is June 19th, 2 weeks later. And that 2-week gap is where everything falls apart. Let us talk about the promise first, because this is not a minor detail. When the Amazing Digital Circus made its deal with Netflix, Glitch put out an official announcement. And inside that announcement, they wrote something specific and clear. We will still continue to always drop episodes first on YouTube. That was not informal. That was not casual. That was a written, public commitment to their entire fan base. And today, that commitment was broken. For the first time in this show's history, the finale is not going to YouTube first. It is going to cinemas first. And the fans who have been supporting this show for years, the ones who watched every episode for free, who bought the merch, who built the communities, who kept this show alive between episode releases with their theories and their art and their genuine love for these characters, those fans are now being told they either pay to travel to one of a very limited number of cinemas in a very limited number of countries, or they spend 2 weeks hiding from the internet, hoping nobody ruins the ending for them. Now, let us talk about the practical reality of those 2 weeks. Because some people are saying, just stay offline for 2 weeks. It is not that hard. And to those people, with respect, that argument completely misses how the internet actually works in 2026. 2 weeks is not a short time. 2 weeks in internet time is an eternity. The moment the first screening ends on June 4th, the first clips are going up. The first plot reveals are going up. The first screenshots, the first reaction posts, the first detailed descriptions of exactly what happens in the final scene. And those posts are not going to stay in one corner of the internet. They are going to spread fast across Twitter, across Reddit, across TikTok, across YouTube comments, across Discord servers. There is no clean way to consume digital media in 2026 without running into other people's reactions to things. The algorithm does not care that you are trying to avoid spoilers. It just knows you watch Digital Circus content, and it is going to keep serving you Digital Circus content, including the ones that spoil everything, until June 19th.
The people who run the fan communities, the moderators of the subreddits, the admins of the Discord servers, the people who voluntarily spend their time keeping these spaces clean and welcoming are going to have an absolute nightmare. These are volunteers, regular fans who love the show enough to give their time to maintaining communities around it. And for 2 weeks, they are going to be playing whack-a-mole against a flood of spoilers that is physically impossible to contain at scale. And the brutal irony is that the very act of moderating, of seeing the posts before approving or removing them, means most of these people are going to get spoiled themselves. There is no winning position here for anyone running a fan community. It is a lose-lose situation that Glitch has placed them in without any apparent consideration for what it means for the people keeping the fandom alive.
Then there is the ticket situation, which tells you everything you need to know about how badly the rollout was handled. Within 2 hours of the announcement, tickets were sold out. Not in some cities, in most cities. Websites crashed under the traffic. One fan in the US looked up screenings and found that on a given day, there was just one showing of the Digital Circus, and it was already completely sold out. Not 2 hours after opening, 2 hours after the announcement. And Glitch is using the same strategy that Across the Spider-Verse used, asking fans to petition theaters to add screenings, which works for a major studio film with enormous marketing infrastructure behind it, but feels completely disconnected from the reality of a show whose fans are global, spread thin, and many of whom live in countries where there are 0 screenings at all.
Glitch Productions is an Australian studio. They made this show. They built this community from nothing, and there are currently no screenings in Australia. Let that sit for a second. The country where Glitch is based, where the people who made the show live and work, cannot see their own finale in cinemas at launch. Meanwhile, the announcement specifically celebrates the show's massive global fan base. The disconnect between the language of the announcement and the reality of the rollout is genuinely baffling. And for fans in Europe, who have been feeling underserved by Glitch's event and merchandise strategy for years, this is not just frustrating. This is the final straw. Glitch merchandise has always been predominantly available through US retailers like Hot Topic. Pop-up shops happen in New York. Exclusive events happen in America or Japan. European fans buy merch and pay enormous shipping costs. They watch from a distance as their friends across the Atlantic get experiences that are never replicated closer to home. And now, for the most important moment in this show's history, that same pattern is repeating one last time. And fans who have been patient through all of it.
And then there is the fandom conduct
enough.
issue, which nobody wants to talk about, but which is absolutely going to become a problem at these screenings. This fandom has a documented history of difficult behavior at real-life events, showing up to locations, being parasocial to voice actors at conventions, and putting that fandom energy into cinema screenings where people are sitting together, where some of them are on phones, where some of them are going to be talking and yelling and generally treating a shared cinema experience like a personal viewing party, is going to create exactly the kind of situations that ruin the experience for everyone else in the room. This is not speculation. This is a pattern that has repeated itself enough times to be predictable. And Glitch, who has seen what happened at Has-Been Hotel early screenings, who watched those events get leaked and the fandom go into chaos, apparently did not factor any of that history into this decision. And what all of this means for the finale, for the fandom, and for what Glitch needs to do right now to salvage the situation, that is exactly what we are breaking down in the next section.